Hello there, friends. This is Chris with Peace of Mind Art and Craft. And today I'm introducing a new slow stitch kit that I'm going to have in my Etsy shop. This will be available to purchase in about a week or so. But I just wanted to get started on the kit and show you how to do it. Those of you that have ordered my slow stitch kits before know that I include a pattern on these, on this one in particular. Some of them don't need a pattern, but this one will include a pattern. And I'm going to show that pattern real quick, not for long. This pattern is copyrighted, so I don't want anyone to think that they can just use it on their own. If you do want to do this on your own, that's perfectly fine. But you'll have to come up with your own design and not use mine. Thank you for that. This is the pattern that will be included with the slow stitch kit. This is what I'm going to show you today in part one, how to start your kit. Now, if you do order a kit from my Etsy shop, it will look like this. And it will come with the fabric that you need, of course the pattern, the fabric that you need, a little baggie of buttons and a charm usually, and some sequins, and then of course some embroidery thread to do the slow stitching with. Okay, so the first part we're just going to go over how to get started. And my kits do not come with written instructions. Instead, I refer you to my videos, which this is the video for the mountain cabin. The reason I've been wanting to do a mountain cabin for so long is I live in Colorado, and of course I have the beach house, and I have the English cottage, and so I wanted to kind of get the idea of one that where I live. This is the mountain cabin, and this is going to be, the kit's going to be the mountain cabin in winter. You can also do it in any other season that you might like. My husband and I in particular like to go up to the mountains during the summer, and it's beautiful up there, and of course it looks different. You don't have the snow. Okay, so anyway, the kit's gonna come like I said, with the pattern. It's going to come with a piece of white muslin, so that part of the background will be the snow. I'm going to take a drink here because my throat is bothering me. Thank you. It's been a while since I made a video. I've been on a couple of trips, and I also had a health problem. So I'm back, and I'm going to be doing some more videos. Okay, so we'll start with our background as we normally do. You know that I usually use a glue stick to adhere my pieces onto the background before I slow stitch, and I will do that again. You can use pins if you like. I don't really like using pins on this really small pieces, because they get in my way when I slow stitch, and I'll often prick myself on the pin, and that's not a good thing. So, start out picking out pieces for your slow stitch, and you can use any fabrics you want. The kit does come with fabrics that are good for backgrounds and so on. Let's start with the background. We are going to use the snow here for quite a bit of the background, but your kit will come with some sky fabric, which I'm going to put on here. Now, when you tack down your fabric, you don't need to like put glue on the whole thing and glue it down. If if you're not going to slow stitch this, if you're just going to use it as a maybe quilted or something, then you'll do the same thing. You'll just put a little bit on the back to make sure it sticks down. And at this time, you can cut off your excess edges, which I think I'll do. Okay, to do that, what you want to do is you want to turn it onto the back and clip it off. I'm just going to clip it off on the sides and not the top yet, because very little sticks over the top. Okay, so there I have my sky. The next thing I want to do is, I'm kind of working down because I'm laying pieces over on top. So I want to do the mountains. For the mountains, I'll refer to, and I'll pick my fabric for that. Here's a piece that I'm going to use. I did some in here. And basically you just layer these pieces down until you get, about halfway down. So you might want to measure that so you can tell, kind of where halfway down is. Where you're going to put all your mountains and trees and so on. And then when you get that finished, then you'll start layering the house and this tree and the other stuff on here. So basically, you're just going to do the things first. I have already cut a piece for the mountains using my pattern. Okay. And I can go up as high as I want on the mountains. I'm going to put a little bit of glue on here to tack it down. Then I'll just keep moving down. What I want to do next is add these trees in the background. And for that, I have a piece of green. Okay. So basically what I want to do is I want to just start at the top. Let's see. I don't need it to be this wide, so I'm going to trim it down so I can tell on here. I'm just going to go in my trees. Notice how I'm not cutting all the way down to here, because I'm just going to have these trees kind of peeking out from the next mountain or the next hill that's going over it. And these pieces that I'm cutting out can also be used as trees. You can see how they're the little triangles. And I'll make them of varying sizes and lengths and so on. Okay. So next I'm going to put that down. Now I have some white up in the top of my mountains, and I'll include that for you. You don't have to put that in. You can also slow stitch that white on top of the mountains if you want. Okay, let's see. You notice here when I come down, I want it to come down a little bit further, but I don't want that part to show. So I'm just going to stick another tree in here is what I'm going to do. And glue that down. Excuse me for my voice. I'm hoarse. A lot of times when I make my videos, It's in the morning, and it's really the first time I talk to anybody during the day. Okay. So you can glue that down as much as you want, as much as it helps you. I just usually glue it down just a little bit, just in case I want to maneuver things and move things around as I go. Don't be afraid to cover up some of the things that you've already got on there. Next, I'm going to put on a piece of this this fabric. Be kind of the mountains, and all you got to do on that is just kind of go up and down like you're making mountains, and make some kind of peaks and valleys, and then decide where you want it. It's kind of more of a small mountain or a hill that's in the background. Notice I'm coming down to my centerpiece here, so I don't need this to be very, very big. So I'm going to cut off my fabric, and of course I'm going to save this fabric for use in this project or another different project. Okay, look at this. Excuse me. I hope you all are doing well. The weather here has turned. We had, actually we had a kind of a summer like fall. One day in October it was like 89. It broke a record. I'm going to save those, but put them over to the side. And then we did have a beautiful fall here. And then it turned yesterday. And it's cold. It snowed a little bit this morning, and it's supposed to snow tomorrow. So here we are in October. It usually snows here. And I'm doing a snow scene, so that works. All right, our next step is just to keep moving down, selecting our fabrics. Dear. Oh, here we go. Here's a piece that I already cut for the background here. I do want to kind of come down to almost to the my line, which is fine. And just because you have it here doesn't have to mean it's a straight line. It can, because really nothing in nature is straight. So it can go up a little bit, like so, and not be quite as straight across. Oops, I am going to move this because I have plenty. Go on to this side. Okay, and now I can add some more of these trees if I want with the background, or maybe even peeking out from underneath this row of trees here. Now these trees you can cut, these trees here you can cut as trees, or you can just leave them like they are, and they kind of give the with this fabric, it kind of gives the impression of trees in the background. Okay, then we get to the cabin. So we're going to want to use the fabric that I have for the cabin. I don't know if I've cut this yet or not. I think I did. Okay. So I'll just go ahead and work on this, and I'll cut out my cabin according to my pattern pieces. Here's my log cabin that I've cut out of my big pattern, and on here is the cabin, and you can cut it out and then put it down on your. We don't quite have enough fabric for this whole thing, so I'm going to cut it in like 2 pieces. So I will cut it. Actually, I can get all the way up here. I think this is kind of a fun fabric for a cabin. And I don't want to get this whole thing, so I'm going to just kind of bend it over. I'll bring this up, and then I'm going to make it a little bit longer for the side of the house. And then I'm going to cut it across. Get down. I can move it over to the side if I'd rather have it, you know, wherever I want it. I'm going to kind of put it in a central location. Okay, then here's the light of my cabin. And mark it here. Okay, and you'll notice it has this cutout place here. That's kind of the side of it. So what we can do is and you can measure this as well. You can put the pattern on here and measure it to cut. Go. Let's see, I think I'll do that. Okay, so there we have making this with the match up with the corner here. Okay, and as I'll go, I can tack down these little pieces. These small pieces I can get rid of. I'm going to save this for use in another slow stitch. And let's see how much time I have. A little bit more. I'm going to make the roof of the cabin. There's some that I'll use for that. If I have that part cut out. Here it is. So I'll place that on here. What I can also do if I want is I can draw around that with a pencil. It doesn't have to be exact because you're going to cut kind of inside that pencil line so that doesn't show. Probably can't see exactly on here. cut inside those little pencil marks. It's okay if a little bit of it shows. And this part's the side of the roof. Let's see. Go with this. Do that part a little bit too thin, so I am gonna ignore that pencil mark. There we go. And then this part of the cabin. There we go. Okay, next you'll want to do, you can do all these little tiny details when you're finished. You can cut out the logs, you can cut out the deck. The trees comes with this cool aspen fabric that I got. You could use this for birch trees as well, but I like using it for the aspen trees. To cut those out. For this lodgepole pine, which goes here, you'll have this fabric for your little walkway here. You can use these gray, and the reason I picked gray was it kind of blends in with the snow better. It doesn't like stand out too much, but it works for that, and it has a little bit of white bits in it, so it kind of looks like it might have snow covering it. And you'll cut those out and use those for the pathway. Your kit will come with an animal of some kind. Here I have a squirrel. Now, these are bigger than like, if you put this up here against the house, it wouldn't, of course, work. But if you put it down here, like I put this partial deer, then it's like he's in the foreground, so you can see him and he can be bigger. Like this tree can be bigger. Anything you put down here can be a bit bigger than what's back here. Because as we go back, then we've got the view, and it gets smaller as we go back. So, and if you don't want to put an animal on yours, you don't have to. It's no problem. Or if you can find a small animal, you could even embroider a small animal back in the background more. A bear, for example. We've seen bears up in the mountains, but usually the ones we've seen have been in the rivers and the water, the creeks and the streams. They've been catching fish. So, okay, what else have we got on here that I need to tell you about for putting the pieces down? About covers it. Just continue on until you get down to the bottom, and then you can fill in your different areas with the smaller pieces. Then the next one, we'll start slow stitching. Thank you for joining me today, and join me again for part 2 of this series on how to make the mountain cabin. So this is Chris, and I wish you all peace of mind